Hi everyone, so today I want to show you a 6x6 fold flat box card. Now I've already done the 5x7, but I saw, now I can't remember who it was. I shall mention them in the description or put a caption up on the screen of the person I saw, and she'd done I think it was I'd like to say 5x7, but I don't know if it was as big as a 5x7. But it had these pop-up bits in it, and I was like, oh my goodness, that's such a good idea. So yeah, so I've done a 6x6 version. So this is the front of the card, and then you open it up, and you've got little pop-up snowflakes. Now the one she'd done like flowers. It looked amazing. It looked really, really good. So I've just kept it simple with some snowflakes, but you really could do whatever you wanted to, and you can add as many, pop-up-y pieces as possible. Not as possible, as you want, really. Yeah, I suppose as possible. But yeah, it's relatively easy to do. I used, the greeting was from Hobbycraft in 2021, Christmas 2021. And then the little gems are from Lucy's shop, Lucy Abrams' shop. Beautiful gems. I love her gems so much. The snowflakes, the dies were Docrafts Xcut dies from a while ago. And the papers I've used were from last year, from 2021. And it was this pad, first edition Arctic Wonder. Beautiful pad. I love this pad lots and lots, and I'm glad that it's now time that I can get it back out again and make Christmas cards with it again, because it was absolutely beautiful. I think you can still get it online. If you can, I will list it below. I'll add a description below. So yeah, so that's the card we're going to be doing today. So hope you like it. Let's get into it. Okay, so for this card, you're going to need some mats and layers, which I'll go through in a moment. You're also going to need a base piece that's 12 by 12 and two base pieces that are 3.5 by 6. Okay, on your 3.5 by 6, you just want to score along the short edge at 1/2 inch and at 1/2 inch. Okay, so they're just tabs. So we'll deal with those in a moment. On your 12 by 12, you're going to score at 3 inches and at 9 inches. And you're going to turn it round and you're going to do the same here. So 3 inches and 9 inches. And then what you want to do on one side, so I've chosen this one, you just want to make a mark along the top edge at 6 inches, which is halfway, and also at the bottom edge at 6 inches, which is halfway. And what we're going to do is we're going to then I'm just going to make a mark where my halfway is, so I can kind of see where I'm scoring from and to. And then what we're going to do is we're going to score from this corner here, where those two lines meet, up to that halfway point, and the same on the other side. So this is exactly the same as the other fold flat box card that I did. We're going to turn it round, so this is what I've just done, and we're going to do the same at the top. So again, from here to that 6 inch mark, and again from this corner to that 6 inch mark, like that. Okay, so you should end up hopefully with that, and I'm hoping you can see my score lines. Yeah, you can faintly. So there's one here and then there's one up here. Can't see it very well, but it is there, but hopefully you'll be able to see it better in a minute. It's basically the same as the 5x7 one I did. It's just I'm doing it on a 6x6. So exactly the same processes apply. So if you're struggling to see what I'm doing here, then you can always go and look at the 5x7 and you should be able to see exactly where we're headed with this. So now what we're going to do is we're going to cut down this first score line until we meet the one going the other way, like that. And we're going to do the same on this side. So we end up with flaps, two little flappy squares. We're going to turn it round and we're going to do the same on this side. Now you're probably wondering why I haven't got that extra inch that I had previously, like I did on the 5x7. Well, you will see in a minute what we're going to do. Part of the reason is because our card is just not wide enough. So unless you're using a super-sized card like an A3 or maybe something bigger, then it's just not going to happen. Okay, so you should end up with that. So here are my triangular pieces. So I've cut in until I reach the score line that are here, and the same with here. Cut in here until I reach the score lines here. Okay, I'm going to leave it this way up. I'm going to bring this side in. We're going to fold this side in. Fold and burnish. And then we're going to fold the top down. We're going to cut these squares out that are in the corner in a minute. But I just want to do something else first. So we're going to fold that in, and the same with the bottom, but I fold the bottom up. Fold and burnish. Now what you're going to do is, what will happen is the same as we did for the 5x7. So this will come down. You'll fold along your diagonal line, and I'm just going to put my ruler in so I've got something to fold up against, because this is craft card and it is quite, it's not so much thick, it's just, I don't know, it's just quite difficult to work with sometimes. So we're going to fold that up like that at a right angle, and we're going to do the same on this side. Fold this up at a right angle. Of a gap, don't worry too much about that, it's fine, it's fine. Okay, and then these are going to fold down like that, as is this is going to fold down too. And then I'm just going to put red tape on here and then just cut the excess off. I find it easier to do that way rather than actually just cutting it to size, you know, sort of just pre-cutting it to size, because it just works a bit better basically. So I'm going to go ahead now and just add my red tape to the top here where the score line is. And then I'm going to turn it round. I'm going to do the same at the top here. So fold this up. Fold this side up. Fold this square down. And fold this square down. And then we're going to put red tape on here. Okay, so we've put tape on all of those pieces. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to open them up so I can get to them. And then I'm just going to take a pair of scissors and chop off everything that's above that bit of tape. Now, it's not the straightest of lines, but it doesn't matter because you're not going to see it. We're going to cover it up in a minute with pattern panels. So it doesn't actually matter if it's not really straight. Okay, just do it as straight as you can. It's absolutely fine. Ooh. And then I'm just going to go in with my little scissors and just notch out these corners, just because then it just makes it a little bit easier and you're not going to be as likely to see it when you stick it down. Okay, so you should end up with, if I turn it round, that's the back of it, and if I turn it over, that's the inside. So when you fold these down, you end up with these tabs here, like that. Okay, so what we're going to do before we start sticking these down, I just want to put this middle piece in. So, as with the one I did before, the 5x7, we're going to have a white piece on the back, and then a pattern piece in the middle. So let me just get my layers ready. So this is the pattern piece that is going to go in the middle here. So we can go ahead and stick that down, and I can go ahead and stick the Merry Christmas on the back as well. Okay, so I've stuck the greeting on the back and I've stuck the pattern on the inside. So now we can go ahead and add and stick our tabs down, because we then will want to stick our pattern pieces in here, but we need to do these bits first before we do this. So fold down your top flap, fold that back and fold your tab down, take off the backing tape, and then we're going to stick this side piece down like that, and then we're going to do the same at the bottom. So fold the whole thing in, hold that little triangle bit down, fold the tab piece up, and then take that off the top, and then we're going to fold this down here like that. So that gives you your side there. So it's quite a deep box card, but it's fine because the next bit makes it, you know, cool. So don't worry about that. Right, so we're going to fold this bit up, fold that bit down, and I'm going to do the same. I'm going to do the two at once for this, because otherwise it gets a bit tricky if you do one then the other. So I'm going to do them both at the same time. Just make sure you hold them down nice and flat like this, and stick them nice and flat. There we go, like that. So when you open it up, there's your box. There's your box of your box card. So now we can go ahead and add the pattern pieces that are going to go inside. So these are the pattern pieces, and these are going to go down these sides here like that. It is better if you can use wet glue for this. I have actually used Miri card, so I'm a bit nervous to use wet glue, especially since I'm using a Kalau. But anyway, we're going to give it a go, see what happens. Okay, so there's your inside pieces. I forgot to mention what size those pieces were. So you need in total 4 mats that are 2 3/4 by 5 3/4, and you need 4 patterns that are 2.5 by 5.5. So you need 2 that are going to go in here and 2 for the flaps that we're going to do in a minute. So these are my flapped pieces. They're exactly the same size as what I've done in there. Okay, so what we need to do next is, before we add the, actually no, let's do the flaps first, then we'll do the inside workings. Okay, so you're going to need, as I said before, 2 pieces that are 3.5 by 6, and you score them along the short edge at 1/2 inch. Then what you want to do is just fold obviously along your score line, give it a good burnish, and then we're going to add red tape along both these tabs, and then just miter the tabs slightly. And then what we're going to do is, I think I'm going to add my pattern paper on first, and then we're going to stick them into position. So I'm going to go ahead and stick these onto here. Okay, so you should end up with that. Then you're going to take your box card, you fold it down flat, and what we're going to do is we're going to stick these tabs on the outside there like that. If you wanted to, you can stick them on the inside, but I just think it adds a bit too much bulk there, which is why I stick mine on the outside. And also because you don't really see the under bit there. I mean, on this card particularly, there is a bit of a difference in colour. So if you wanted to, you could cover that up. But I'm not that fussed. I don't think most people are going to look at that, to be honest with you. So we're just going to take this off, and then we're going to close this up so it's nice and flat, and line that folded edge up with the folded edge, the cut edge of your middle panel, and stick that down like that. Okay, so there you can see on the back there's a bit of a join, but it's fine because you're not really looking at that bit. So we're going to do the same on this side. I'm going to actually turn mine round because I find it easier to work on the right hand side. So again, take that off, fold this over, just need to give this a bit of burnish, and then we're going to stick this down like that. And you can make sure then as well that it meets nicely in the middle. And then when you open it, you've got your little box. Well, quite a deep box actually. Okay, so the difference between this one, obviously apart from the size, and the 5x7 one that we did, is I want to add some pop-up things in it, because why not? Like, it's a really deep box. I don't know where my head is today. So yeah, so I thought we could have a go. So you can do different heights. Now, I did have a go. I haven't got my little prototype to show you, but I did have a go. And I made them quite high up here. But then it does clash with this piece that goes in. So I've decided the best way of doing it, now there are obviously, you could try what you want and see what you can do, but I've discovered that if you use a piece of card, a strip of card that's 1/2 inch by 6 inches, then that works really well. So you want to take, I've got 2 strips here, and you want to put them on, and along the 6-inch edge you're just going to score at 1 inch, at 3 inches, and at 4 inches. And you do that on both of them. Okay. So now we're going to just fold them and give them a little bit of a burnish. This is 200 GSM card. I would not go any thinner than that. In fact, even this is a little bit on the thin side. You don't want to go too thick, but you need it to be able to stand up to, you know, having something placed on it. And also, just, you know, you just need it not to be collapsing. Okay, so I'm going to fold it basically in half, so along your 3-inch line, and then I'm going to put red tape on this side and red tape on that bit. So basically the 2 end folded sections is where I'm putting my red tape. So I'm going to put a strip of red tape along here. That's my long 2-inch fold, and then turn it over, and on the inch fold I'm going to put a piece of red tape on there too. So you basically, your middle 2 sections you're not putting anything on, your end 2 sections you are. So if I open this up, you can see that's a short section, it's got tape, then you've got a long section with no tape, a short section with no tape, and then a long section with tape. So you're going to repeat that again on this one. Okay, so you end up with 2 pieces of 2 strips with your red tape on. So take your first one, and they're going to go in the box like that, basically. So what we need to do is we need to squish them so that they're halfway again. If you're rolling them in half, and then we're just going to take the tape off that long section there, and we're going to take our box, and we're very carefully going to line it up along the top. Now I wouldn't go too far up. I'm going to go about probably about there, I think. I don't want to go too far up, but you want enough that you could got a difference. And then you're going to stick it in. It needs to make sure it's nice and square. Sorry, I've just knocked the camera because I'm standing up so I can see what I'm doing. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take the other bit of backing off. You need to hold that nice and flat, and then you're going to fold this down onto that little bit of tape. So when you open it, you end up with that. Can you see you've got like a little box, little platform there? And then we're going to repeat the process on this side. I'm going to turn it round, so then I'm doing the same again in the same place. It just makes it easier for me. So if you wanted to, and you wanted it to be taller, then you would just turn it the other way. So instead of sticking the long piece along the base, you'd stick the long piece up the side. Okay, but I'm not going to do that because I have tried that in the past and it didn't work very well. It looks good if you can pull it off, but yeah. So we're going to again put this in, try and make sure it's right up against that edge and it's straight, which I think that is. It's difficult to tell because I'm not got my head right over it. And then we're going to push that down, shut this on it, and then when you open it, you've got your 2, can you see, you got your 2 little boxes in there, one high, one low. And then I've just cut out some silver snowflakes. So I'm going to put one on there like that, and then a smaller one up here like that. And then I've also got Merry Christmas, which is going to go at the back on the actual base itself. And then I've got some other little snowflakes that will go on the front of the card. So I'm going to go ahead now and stick these down. Okay, so once you've stuck your whatever you're putting in, your snowflakes in, you just got a bit of 3D. Now obviously you could add more in if you want to, you could add more struts if you want to. Just be careful when this closes, this little bit of snowflake here just got caught on that. So you just need to be careful that it's got enough closure for when you want to close it up. Okay, and the other thing as well is if you've got because this paper's quite busy, that's why I'm not sticking more snowflakes on the back. But if it wasn't so busy, I would probably stick some more snowflakes on the back. But there's already snowflakes there, so I don't need to do that. So now what I'm going to do is go ahead, add my sentiments. I've got a Merry Christmas sentiment I got from Hobbycraft last Christmas. So that's going to go over here. And then I'm just going to stick these snowflakes on the front like that. I'm just going to finish off with a few little gems and then I think I am done. I've added a few little gems, just a few little splatters like little snowflakes. Not a great deal, but just a few little bits. These are from Lucy Abrams' shop. I really like them. I don't get commission for mentioning it, but they're just so beautiful, so I have to mention them. Yeah, so there we go. So that's the end of the card. Obviously, it fits in, when it's folded down flat, it'll fit in an envelope for a 6x6 card. But yeah, there's lots you could do with this, really. And as I've already shown you, you can do a 5x7 portrait one as well. I'm working on a 5x7 landscape one, so we'll see how that works out. But yeah, there's lots of things you can do. So I hope you liked it. Please like and subscribe, leave a comment down below, hit the notification bell so you never miss a video, and we will see you next time. Bye!